Hey guys, so I'm back with another video and I'm going to be doing the next video in the beginner series. The first beginner series was my foundation routine. This series allows me to elaborate on each of these steps of makeup and I'm really excited for it. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to contour, bronze, the difference between the two, how to apply blush and highlighter. I'm also going to be showing you my favorite brushes to use and my favorite products to use as well. So if you would like to see how to contour, apply blush, and highlight, then just keep watching. So starting out with contouring and bronzing, the difference between the two is the application and the powder. You wouldn't bronze with a contour powder and you wouldn't contour with a bronzing powder. There is a difference. I have my two favorite bronzing powders right here. This is my favorite for bronzing and this is my favorite for contouring. This one has more of a neutral tone to it. It's not warm tone like the bronzer. A bronzing powder for bronzing is warm tone. It's really just to warm up your face, give your face some color. It's supposed to look like the sun has hit your face and bronzed it. And contouring is supposed to make your face look slimmer. And also contouring is really good if you have a very dramatic eye. If you have a very dramatic eye look, you probably don't want to go into just bronzing. You're probably going to want to do contour. So it does kind of apply with the type of look that you're doing as well. So this contour powder is my favorite. It's the Hoola from Benefit and it's just such great quality and the perfect shade, I feel like, for so many different people. The only thing about this is that it wouldn't work for darker skin tones. If you have really dark skin, it may be too light for you and you may want to get a kind of darker toned bronzer, but still make sure you're not getting a warm tone bronzer. If you have a warm tone bronzer for contouring, it will not turn out how you want it to, and this is what it looks like. It's very neutral tone. It's not super cool tone and it's not super warm tone. That's what I love about this bronzer, because some cool tone bronzers can look like a really ashy and muddy on your face and you don't want that. For contouring, I would suggest a neutral tone or a cooler tone bronzer. Let me show you the difference between a contour powder and a bronzing powder, because once you see them individually, you may not think there's that big of a difference, but when you put them side by side, you can really tell a difference. As you can see, this one has more of a red undertone. So I'm going to be doing both today. You can do both on the same look. You can contour and then you can kind of bronze up the cheek as well. So for the brushes for contouring, I would go with one of these type of brushes. I really like this one because it's very easy to work with. It's not super hard to work with. This one's a little bit harder to work with because it is a very small head. So you can get a really harsh line and it will be hard to blend out if you don't do it carefully. But with this one, it's a lot easier to blend out. So I would suggest, if you're just starting out contouring, to get this type of brush. I'm going to use this one just so I can show you how to do it, because it is a little bit harder to use than the other one. For contouring, when you're first starting out, I would suggest to do a little line like this so you know where to go. I don't do this anymore, and once you start doing it more, you won't have to do this either. So you put it at the top of the ear and go down. And where you're going to want to stop contouring is about right here, like in the middle where the end of your eye is about where you're going to want to stop. So I'm going to do this and you can kind of get the idea of where it's going to be, and then just start going back and forth. You're going to want to start with back and forth motions just to place it where you want to have it. And with contouring, you're always going to be blending up, kind of how I said with that cut crease look in my Christmas makeup tutorial. You're going to want to make your line and then always blend up. If you blend down, then that kind of defeats the purpose of contouring, because you want a line to hollow out your cheeks and make them more defined. So first I'm just going back and forth, just doing some back and forth motions. And as you can see, I stopped about at the end of my eye. I don't go past that really. And so just doing back and forth motions and then transitioning into circular motions. And again, I'm blending up. And so that's what my contour is going to look like. We'll blend it out a little later. As you can see, you can really tell a difference. It kind of hollows out your cheeks, defines them definitely, because here my face just looks so flat. And then when you go to this side, you can really see my cheekbones. So that's kind of the purpose of contouring, is to really define your face and your cheekbones, to give your face a little bit more definition. So now I'm going to move on to the other side And before I say anything else, make sure you're not getting a whole lot of bronzer on your brush, because that could really end in disaster. You're going to want to start out with just a little bit, and you can keep building it up till you get it as sharp and dark as you want it, because if you go in with a lot of it at the beginning, then you can get a really harsh line that's hard to blend out, and it can be really too dark. And once you get it really dark, it's harder to blend out and harder to take away. So start out light and then build up. So again, just go at the top of your ear and down, and stopping about at the end of your eye. So I'm just going to follow that line. Always keep most of your product up here, about just like a little bit, and just start there at first, and then you can blend a little bit further down, because again, you don't want to go too far down because it's harder to blend out like that. So back and forth motions starting here, and then since I've already put most of the product back there, now I can start blending down a little bit more. So you want the bottom of the line to kind of be where the top of your ear is. So after you do back and forth motions, you can do circular motions to help blend it out. Okay, so I've contoured both sides, as you can see. Now we're going to move on to the forehead, and I'm not going to contour the forehead. I just don't really like contouring my forehead. I like to bronze my forehead. So since I'm bronzing my forehead, I'm going to take my NYC Sunny Bronzer and just swirl my brush in it. And basically what you do is you just find the top of your forehead, and you kind of go from here and down. So starting at the very top, you don't want to get your whole forehead dark, because that defeats the whole purpose of bronzing or contouring. You want to leave the middle blank. So I try to stay on the top as much as possible. If I go too far down, I hate how it looks. Staying at the top of your forehead and just blending down. And you do the same thing with contouring. You can get a smaller brush, and again, your contouring powder that is more neutral toned or cool toned, and just kind of working it like that. And if you want to bronze your cheeks a little bit, all you have to do is just do the same thing and go right over your contour, and it's the same principle. It's just a bigger brush, a different powder, and you're just bronzing your cheek, but I'm just going to leave the contour. So we're done with contouring. It's not too hard once you get the hang of it. It may look really hard, but it's not. Just remember to go in light-handed and to not get too much product, and just keep building it up till you get it how you like it. I'm just going to blend it out just a little bit. For blush, there are a few different types of blushes that you will work with. This is more of like a natural flush of the cheeks, and this is very buildable, so that's what I love about it. It's so easy to blend and so easy to build up. So if you're a beginner with makeup and you want to spend money on a high-end blush, I would definitely recommend this one, and it is pretty natural, so I love it. Today I thought I'd work with a more pigmented blush. So these are the Tarte blushes, and this is the holiday palette from last year, so it is limited edition, but Tarte blushes are great. They are so amazing. They're pretty pigmented. They're not super pigmented. I have other more pigmented blushes. So I like more buildable blushes because they're so much easier to work with. If there's a blush that's super pigmented, I'm most likely not going to buy it because it's so hard to work with and you can just mess up your whole cheek with it. So I really like these Tarte blushes because they are pretty buildable. They are more pigmented than the other one I just showed you, but they are still really good blushes, a really good option if you're looking for a good high-end blush. So this brush is just very good for blush. I love it so much. This brush is the Sigma Large Angled Contour F40, and it's really, really great for blush. It's great for contour as well. So if you want a good blush brush, I highly recommend this one. And you can also use it for contour. You can get a little bit more use out of it. So I'm going to go in with a few different blushes. I like this one, and this one. And they are Fetching, Prim, and Smashing. I do about 2 little taps in the blush because I don't want too much of it on my face because then you can get a really bright cheek. So make sure you build it up just like with the contour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smile, and you can kind of see where the apples of your cheeks are, where these lines are, and then going here. And I like to start there. Some people just keep it back here, but I like to start there. So I'm going to put some blush right here, and then I just bring it back. You can just swipe at first, just do little fast motions like this, and then I'm just going to go back and forth, kind of like I did with the contour. So again, I'm just doing little fast sweeping motions, and then I'm bringing it back because I do like a lot of blush to be back here too. I like it to be all in this area right above your contour. So to blend the contour and the blush together, you can see them both here. You're just going to want to take a blending brush, and this is my favorite brush ever for blending. This is amazing. I could not live without this brush. I also use it for bronzing, so I did use this for bronzing today, but I do use this one sometimes. And this is again from Sigma. I love their brushes, and this is the Duo Fiber F50, and it is amazing. As you can tell, it looks a little bit different than most brushes because it has that, I don't know, it's like you can almost see every individual hair is what it kind of looks like. That's kind of how it looks from the front. It looks like a firework on camera. So you can just kind of see every individual hair, and that's what it looks like. And it's really, really great for blending your blush, contour, and highlight together. I love this brush. It's amazing. As you can see, I'm doing back and forth motions here. I kind of do back and forth motions and circular motions mixed. And I'm just doing it over the blush and the contour to make sure they're all blended together, because if you have a contour powder here and the blush powder here, that's not going to look that good. You want them to blend together. So if you have that problem, just blend them together with this type of brush, and that'll help. You can also blend with this type of brush. To me, this works a lot better, but this will work as well if you have a big powder brush. This will also help if you put on too much blush. Same with contour. If you get a really harsh contour and you don't like how harsh it is, this can help blend it out. After you've gotten your bronzer and blush blended, it's time for highlighter, one of my favorite parts. So if you want to see how to apply creamed highlighter, then I will link that video down below. It's like my chatty get ready with me or something. So I'll link that video down below so you can check it out, because I show you how to do creamed highlighter and this kind of highlighter on top. And that's how you get the most intense highlight, because it is very intense in that video. So if you want to see how to do that, I will link it down below. But today I'm just going to be using a powder highlight. So my favorite brush to use is from Real Techniques, and they have this in some places like Walmart and other like drugstores like that, but I know they have it at Ulta as well. And this is the setting brush. And it is so perfect for highlighter because it's kind of small and it's just the perfect shape and the perfect size. I love it so much. I'm going to start where I smile. So you can tell there it's matte, and there you can see it. So I love doing this trick. And then just bringing it to the tops or the high points of the cheekbone. So this is preferable. You don't have to do it right here. Most people do it, you know, mainly right here, which is the top of the cheekbone, right above where you put your blush. So again, right when you smile, just kind of the outline in the very front of the apple of your cheek. And then moving on, you want it all to be connected. And moving on to the tops of your cheekbones. And you can even connect it onto your forehead. I do that in the summer, but in the winter, I just like to keep it on my cheekbones. And then I'm also going to take it on my chin a little bit and on my nose. And I've noticed that if I do this type of motion like this, it doesn't look streaky, because I used to go like this with my highlighter on my nose, but then I would notice that I could see like brush marks and it was kind of streaky on my nose. So I started doing it like this, and it looks a lot more natural, and you can blend it all together. And this will also help if you think you've put on too much highlighter and you don't like how intense it is. It can make it not as intense, and it blends it all together. So that's all. I think I'm done explaining everything. I hope I explained everything really well. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments down below, and I would love to help you out. Also, leave in the comments down below what kind of video you would like to see next, or what else you would like me to explain in the beginner series. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any videos of mine. Give this video a thumbs up if you want me to continue the beginner series. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye.